Hola gente, ¿cómo están? Espero que estamos en un nuevo video, de una nueva serie. Hoy vamos a jugar Dead Synchronicity, Tomorrow Comes Today, o mejor dicho en español, Sincronía Muerta, el mañana llega hoy. Es un juego de igual manera que el de la cucaracha, que se publicó esta semana, que obviamente es un click and point, donde bueno, tendremos objetos, tenemos que interactuar, pero este es un poco distinto. Un poco igual porque es como una catástrofe al parecer nuclear, por lo menos que eso es lo que yo creo, pero obviamente con humanos de por sí. Pero bueno, bastante interesante la historia, así que nada, espero que les guste.
Papá.
Papá. Hay dos puntos nuevos del canal, por cierto, esa es una. Esa es una. Y otra vez si lo encuentre. Perfecto.
¡Es el martillo! ¡Es real! ¡Tómenme una foto! ¡Es el martillo! ¡Es real! ¡Oh no, ¡tómenme una foto con ¡Oh no, hermano!
Bien, está en español, gracias. Hermoso mi corazón. Voy a bajar un poco porque no sé si se puso bastante fuerte. Ahí está. Aunque podría bajarle yo un poco de acá.
¡Estoy haciendo lo mejor que puedo!
Y subirla acá. Es hermoso porque se golpea con... Literalmente, sí, sí, sí. Castellano, Francaise. Argentino no hay. Arre. Voces en alemán. Ah, inglés alemán. Y hacemos nazi, no. Así está bien. Bien. Nueva partida. Veamos.
¿Quién, yo?
¿Quién yo? Fracasé. Fracasado. A la mierda, a la verga. Dios. Odio cuando pasa eso en los relojes, boludo. Y a mí me pasaba mucho. Y ahora voy a contar una anécdota de eso. Sí está re fuerte, boludo. Voy a dejar un poco, está muy fuerte, boludo.
I don't know. It's too soon to say. We should let him rest.
Una guerra, ¿no? Parece. Sí, una guerra.
He's been very feeble for weeks. He can't get up. He doesn't speak. Do you think we should call a doctor?
Call a doctor? Here?
You're right. Let's just hope he wakes up one of these days.
Qué ganas, tíos. Es que se acaban ahora. Ah.
Don't give up.
Oh. El mañana llega hoy. Sincronización muerta, algo así. Muerte sincronizada.
Wake up, Michael. Come on, you have to wake up.
Oh. ¿Quién eres? ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde te escondes? ¿Qué está sucediendo? ¿Qué es este lugar? Por favor, responde.
Who are you? Who's there?
Please, Michael, wake up. Wake up.
Qué bonito que haga más tema fresco, boludo.
This silence. This darkness. Where am I? Damn it. I can't remember. Where are you? Where are you hiding?
Michael, please wake up. You have to wake up.
Michael? Is that my name? Please tell me where I am.
Michael
I
Jackson.
can't remember anything. What's happening? What is this place? Please, tell me.
Wake up, Michael.
Lo único que lo sabe, sí, boludo.
Please wake up. Wake up now.
Será un mensaje que estoy internado en la vida real y ustedes no existen, boludo.
Please, come back.
Estoy internado en el hospital, boludo.
Silence.
¿Te imaginas?
Darkness, this emptiness.
Ok. Es un click and point, al parecer, por lo que veo. Tatao. Ok. Maltín debe ser el maltín de los objetos que voy agarrando. 15. Acto 1. Un campo lleno de ratas. Jugador de Minecraft. A la verga.
Good morning. I hope you're feeling better.
But
Now don't be alarmed. I'm glad you feel strong enough to get out of bed. That's wonderful news. I must say you're looking much better, considering what you've been through, of course.
¿qué? Who are you?
Ah,
¿Qué?
yes, of
Papá?
course.
Papá.
Forgive my manners. You've been with us for so long that I forgot that you don't know who we are. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rod Atkinson. Well, I was the director of the Municipal Property Registry before, well, you know, before the world collapsed on us.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Atkinson. But
¿Dónde estoy? ¿Qué es este sitio? ¿Puede decirme qué hago aquí?
where am I?
¿Cómo me caga que dejen los perros afuera, boludo?
You are in what I venture to call
Si tiene un perro, háganse cargo, boludo. Todo bien, pero...
humble, hopefully
No mames,
temporary
boludo.
home. This is one of the many trailers that make up the refugee camp. And believe me, we can consider ourselves lucky to live between these four walls. Most of the inhabitants of this hellhole, excuse my crude language, have nothing more than plastic tarps and cardboard for shelter.
Wait a second. Did you say refugee camp?
Yes, of course. The Facility for Temporary Accommodation of Disaster.
No, no, es de calle el
That's
perro.
what they called it.
O sea, explico bien, explico
After
bien.
the army declared
Ah, pero-
martial law following the catastrophe, you look a little confused, if you don't mind my saying so. Do you really not know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Ya me perdí con la historia, boludo.
I'm afraid not. Let me ask you.
¿Puedo decirme qué hago aquí?
Can you tell me what I'm doing here?
Yes, of course. I think we owe you an explanation. A few days after the Great Wave, we found you lying in a ditch near the airport. You were badly injured and unconscious. We couldn't just leave you there. Someone had already stolen your luggage and identification.
Ah,
It was awful.
tranqui.
So we decided to take care of you ourselves and brought you here. You've been with us ever since. By the way, I should tell you that when we found you, your clothes were ripped to shreds, so we threw them away. The clothes you're wearing now are mine. You'll find more things in that wardrobe. If you need anything, just help yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Atkinson. But
Re amable, boludo. La que no, ¿verdad? ¿De qué está hablando? Ha dicho con nosotros. ¿Quién más vive aquí? Veo por sus explicaciones que me salvaron la vida. Estoy muy agradecido.
the Great Wave? What are you talking about?
Well, what would I be talking about? That damned, excuse my language, explosion that brought ruin to all of us. The origin of this filthy new world that now seems to be our permanent reality. But do you really not remember? Do you really not remember anything about all this?
I feel a little weak and dizzy, Mr. Atkinson. Excuse me. I'm afraid I can't. I can't remember a thing.
I see. There have been many cases like yours in the camp. Try to rest and not to get too agitated. Well, there's one thing I can tell
Por lo que veo de este tipo de
you can
juegos,
consider yourself
yo voy a estar recordando de a
There's
poquito la
nothing
historia
nice to
y lo que me
remember
pasó.
sometimes, believe me.
You said with
Ahí está, justo.
us. Who else lives here?
Ah, yes, of course. I still haven't properly introduced my family to you.
Ah,
Now is a
okay,
bad
familia.
time, but I promise to make proper introductions later. My wife and I sleep in the other room, and, well, little Colin sleeps with us.
Colin?
Yes, Colin is our only child. Our one ray of hope since the catastrophe. I'm going to confess something to you. Colin is the only reason my wife and I still struggle to keep going in this new world. We would have given up a long time ago if it weren't for him.
Of course. I understand. So that was your wife's voice that woke me up a few minutes
¿Por
ago.
qué se me hace que Colin se va a quedar muriendo?
Wife? No.
No es por nada, pero se me hace que Colin se va a quedar muriendo.
Me in the other room the whole time. We haven't come out of there. for
Sí, me pasa eso en
months,
todo, boludo.
But I'm glad you're feeling better and are fully conscious now. I guess we could say you've been reborn. And although the circumstances aren't the best, simply being alive nowadays is practically a luxury. So, welcome to our home.
From what you've told me, I see that you've saved my life. I'm very grateful, Mr. Atkinson.
No, please. You don't have to thank us. We just did what we had to. It's our moral obligation to uphold the ethical
Ahí está.
principles of civilization.
El agua es mala, boludo. Me atragantó.
Only Rod, please.
Me atraganté con agua
Well,
y bebe
Rod's
agua para
dead.
sacarte la tos.
What kind of future does he face if
Qué
he
hijo de puta.
accepts that it's every man for
Ese meme me caga de risa,
himself,
boludo.
that no one cares about anyone else? It's a terrifying prospect, don't you think? We're just doing whatever we can to avoid that future, that's all.
Rod! Rod!
Please excuse me, but I have to leave you now.
No, wait, please. What's happening? Don't go yet.
I'm sorry, I understand that you have a lot of questions to ask me, but now isn't the time. Believe me, I promise to answer each and every one of your questions in peace.
Un
and
malísimo,
quiet.
boludo.
Sorry, but I have to go.
Pero la idea es jugar, no excitarme, boludo.
Quickly!
Okay, all right.
Now that you're feeling better, you can go out and take a walk around the camp. But please be very careful out there. Before is gone. Heed my warning, don't touch anything. Don't talk to anyone. And don't get mixed up in anything. At least until someone explains to you how things work in this new world
Okay.
that the Great Wave left us. Everything has changed so much out there.
All right. Thanks for the advice.
Ah, one more thing.
Se me va a morir la tipa, boludo, si sigue así.
Quite a while now, and we don't even know what to call you. What is your name?
My name?
Si no se acuerda. Ah, Michael.
Michael. My name is Michael.
Very pleased to meet you, Michael. We'll talk again later, I promise.
Ah, me cerró, boludo. Me encerró.
That disembodied voice called me. That must be my name. Wake up, Michael. That's all she said. Leaving me in this immense void where I can't remember anything. Great wave? New world? Refugee camp? But what the devil could have happened out there? I think it might be a good idea to go out there and take a look.
Ok.
There's a very worn old notebook hidden under the lid. The cover is practically falling off the spiral binding. It looks like someone stashed it here some time ago and then forgot.
Ok, ok. Bien. Un diario. Un cuaderno.
It's an old accounting ledger that still has a few blank pages left in it. From what's written in here, it looks like someone was using it as a diary before ripping out almost all its pages and leaving it inside the oven in the trailer.
Ha vuelto a hablar con sus abuelos, con mis padres muertos. Sus ausencias son cada vez más largos y aterradoras. El rugido. Su madre está sufriendo demasiado. Hemos acordado guardar el arma con 2 balas dentro de la caja de galletas. Que Dios nos perdone cuando se vaya, pero no hay futuro para nosotros sin él. El rugido de esa brecha en el cielo sigue aterrando a Colin. Ah, Colin, boludo. O sea, que de acá. El Altísimo ha decidido rasgar el cielo y anima a sus ángeles a castigarnos a través de la herida. Nos dice el padre Blake, que es un hombre santo. Mis subordinados, mis compañeros, mis superiores, es que ya nadie se acuerda de Rod Atkinson ahí fuera, pero debemos ser fuertes por el niño. La gran ola no podrá arrebatarnos quiénes somos. Bueno.
A pile of frying pans, plates, and dirty silverware waiting to be
Hay un
used.
perro.
Ugh, this
O sea,
place
los vecinos de la
smells like a
esquina
cheap, greasy spoon.
trabajaban en cerca y había un perro en la calle.
I'm not gonna snuff out this oil lamp. This place looks sinister enough with light. This
Y
oil lamp is
la
the
cosa es
only
que
source of light. The flickering of the flame makes a room look
lo
cozy.
agarraron, lo alimentaron, todo lo tratan como una mascota.
Nightmare.
Me cae que te parece un poquito me tiene secuestrado. Y
Impossible. It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it before he left.
ok.
It's an unframed snapshot.
Y la cosa es que los vecinos se mudaron y le dejaron la perra al vecino de la vuelta, por ahí, enfrente básicamente. Y sus vecinos
Good God. What the hell happened? this place. But wherever it was, it struck into its very
A la mierda.
foundations without any mercy whatsoever.
Se dejaron en el frente. Y lo de frente lo dejaron en la calle. Y cada tanto se mete en la casa de las esquinas. Pero el 90% del tiempo está afuera en la calle. Yo digo, para tener un perro así, no sé, prefiero darlo a una veterinaria que se encarguen de que encontrarle una familia. Y listo, boludo. Pero bueno.
I'm Michael. But what's going on?
No solo por el ruido, sino porque también come cosas del piso, de basura y todo así, boludo.
Brigades are taking away a sick person, a dissolved. You know how it is,
Ah,
just
mierda.
doing their job. Ironically, that house belongs to one of the camp moles. Those traitorous scumbags.
Brigades, dissolved, moles. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't remember anything.
Oh, I see, you're a blankhead. Well, you better get up to speed real quick if you want to survive here, Mike. Find me if you need help, dude. I can get you whatever you need. Doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. That's why they call me the Hunter.
Apa.
All right, I'll remember that.
Come back here! Don't take her away! Don't you know who I am? Come back here!
Ok.
They shot that poor man in cold blood. But why did they do that? Hey, Hank?
Peque, ¿cómo te sentís? ¿Estás un poquito mejor?
I'm afraid he's gone.
Neta, ¿me lo juras? Para. Chava la arrugada. Quiero revisar todo antes de estar.
Well, look at that. When I pulled back the sheet, part of it got torn on the springs.
¿Ves? Algo saqué.
I hope Rod doesn't notice. A depressing sight. A damp
Húmedo.
mattress and a bed frame and dirty, rumpled sheets. This is the bed where I've been convalescing all this time.
Bien. Saliente, cama deshecha.
The bed frame under the mattress is so battered that one of the springs is turned into a very sharp protruding object.
No puedo, ok. Si ven, cuando apoyo el mouse se puede o tocar o ver.
The old closet Rod told me about. It's funny. With the glass in the door shattered, my reflection in the mirror is fragmented, like a photo ripped into
Sí, la verdad
little
sí.
pieces and
Qué bueno que esté mejor. Qué bueno, la verdad que esté mejor. Y miro también, porque vi que, bueno, la silla estaba un poquito mal, se sentía mal. También está mejor.
time has left these hinges.
Ya, a poquito se van a ir mejorando
There's no way I'm
ambos.
going to be able to break open this door with my bare hands. This tangle of metal was a driver's door once upon a time. Neglect and rust have left it completely stuck. Someone improvised a bonfire inside that drum. Although the smoke starts to irritate the lungs pretty quickly, it seems like the only heating system the camp inhabitants have.
Ok. Uno de los mendigos que ayudaba a Xavier, boludo.
Ouch! Damn it! This vacant lot is full of trash and broken glass.
Ay, sí, pa.
I managed to rip open the sole of my foot in a rusty.
Ay, Dios.
Hey, it's not a good idea to walk around barefoot in this enormous trash heap. You won't get very far without shoes.
Yeah, thanks for the tip.
The tip is yours to keep. But if you come near my things, you're a dead man. Understood? Wait, I recognize you. Aren't you the guy Rod's been taking care of in his trailer all this time?
Yes, I am. Do you know?
Ah, bueno, a poquito ya se va.
Yes, I do.
Te vas a recuperar.
Everyone in the
A mí también me dolía hace un
camp
montón.
you
Hace 2
owe
semanas
my
aproximadamente.
life.
La garganta. Y de a poquito se me pasó. Con un tecito también ayuda.
No one in his right mind would do what he did for you, for a total stranger.
Yes, I'm very grateful to him. But tell me, can I ask you a few questions?
He oído algo sobre una enorme explosión. La gran hora. ¿A qué demonio se refiere?
I've been hearing about an enormous explosion, the Great Wave. What on earth are they talking about?
What kind of question is that? Where have you been all this time? Sleeping in a cave?
Well, you could say that.
The Great Wave is the reason we're confined here like animals. The entire world went to hell in a handcart that day, and we went with it.
He podido descubrirlo con mis propios ojos. ¿Podrías contarme algo más?
I've been able to see that with my own eyes. Can you tell me anything else?
Okay, I'll tell you what I know. The Great Wave hit us one
¿Por qué me
Friday
escupía y me gritaba, boludo?
right out of the blue. I remember it perfectly because I'd just come out of an important meeting at that precise moment. I'd made a lot of money from a very fat contract. Yes, sirree, Bob. Very, very fat.
¡Qué
First,
asco!
we felt the ground quaking, as if a volcano was about to erupt right under our feet. I had to get out of my car and run. Then came the explosions. Glass broke. Buildings toppled. And then for weeks, the stench of corpses rotting in the streets. In
No.
just a few hours, that damn great wave sent us all, with our businesses, our money, and our convertibles, straight back to the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages.
Of course! Are you surprised? In a matter of minutes, we were left with no electricity,
Eso pasa con las guerras mundiales,
no
bro.
water, no communications.
Y con
And
las
after the initial chaos, the dissolved
bombas nucleares.
show up. And that horrible gash opened up in the sky. That stupid breach up there that no one in this hellhole has bothered to explain to us. The fact is that the remains of the old system only held up for a few weeks. And through the cracks, what you see around you started seeping in.
The New World, right?
Yes, indeed. You catch on fast. The new world was here to stay. Welcome to the future, son. Not exactly the way you pictured it, huh?
¿Encerrados? ¿Te refieres a que no podemos salir del campo de refugiados?
Confined. Do you mean we can't leave the refugee camp?
Refugee camp. I've always found that term amusing. It seems like things on the other side of the fence work a little better. But here, look around you. Does this look like a refugee camp? It's an army detention camp, and you're a prisoner. Once you come in here, you lose everything, even your name. To them, you're nothing more than a rat, just another camp rat. You'd never be able to get through.
¡Es el martillo! ¡Es
¡Te
real!
vas!
Know anyone.
¡Tómenme una foto con él! ¡Oh, no, hermano!
Been before the old world.
¿Cómo te hace todo bien?
Believe me, I speak from experience. If you're just a camp rat, I'm afraid the only way out of here is feet
¡Se
first. I
vas!
don't know if you get my meaning.
Of course I do. Thanks for your encouraging words.
You can keep the words, but come near my things and you're a dead man.
Ya deja de depender de mi horario, guacho. ¿Cómo, guacho? Vení, guacho, decímelo en la cara, guacho. Vale, vení. Gracias por el shoutout. Ah, para que voy a hacer tu shoutout, loco, vos. Ahí está. Bien, pues toca al Sebas. Este tiroteo, ¿cómo puedes explicarme qué acaba de suceder aquí?
This shooting. Could you explain to me what just happened here?
Explain what exactly? That show the cleanup brigades put on? Someone got too chatty and ratted out a sick person, that's all. There's usually a pact of silence in the camp. No one likes to see one of their own in those ambulances. But in this
Seguramente la maten,
case,
boludo.
the dissolved was a relative of one of the camp moles.
¿Cómo lo Sebas?
Ironic, isn't it?
But they shot a man.
Yes.
No entiende, boludo, que le chupa un huevo.
What? The price of human life has gotten a
Se devolvió
lot.
tanto como mi dinero, boludo.
That needn't surprise anyone these days.
Literalmente. Ha dicho disuelta. Un topo del campo. ¿Qué es eso exactamente? Haremos otra cosa.
Did you say dissolved?
Of course, dissolved. But what the hell's wrong with you? Those people are a real plague. They're sick, and, so they say, highly contagious. Let me give you a piece of advice about them. If you see one, run the other way like he was the devil himself. Even if they don't give you that deadly disease or drive you crazy with their trances, the cleanup brigades will kill you for hiding one.
A
You
ver.
saw it with your own eyes. They don't even respect their own camp moles.
Un topo de campo. ¿Qué es eso exactamente?
Camp mole? What is that exactly?
A spy, a stool pigeon. It's in the Army's interest to control the camp from inside. And so they pay some of the inhabitants to feed them information about what happens on this side of the fence. Who comes in, who goes out, who causes trouble. And, of course, who gets sick. They're scumbags, but very well paid scumbags. and they have certain privileges that no one else in here has. Never trust a mole. They'll do anything to hang on to the favors the army gives them in
Y
its help.
te venderán a la primera, boludo.
I'll take your advice.
You're welcome. But stay away from the shopping cart or I'll rip your
Joder,
cuts.
güey.
Got it?
Cuéntame algo sobre Rod
Tell
Atkinson.
me about Rod Atkinson.
Well, I don't know him very well, but they say he's decent enough. Too decent for the times we're living in. Did you know that before coming here, he was someone important? I think he worked for the government, and he still has some good contacts on the outside. But they're not good enough to get that stupid do-gooder and his family
Nunca respondió
out.
más, boludo. Se fue la mierda.
Stupid do-gooder?
Well,
Llevados.
you know how it is.
Porro.
Rod is one of those good Samaritans who think they can save the world. He has helped a lot of people in the camp, but I think he's going to run into problems. I reckon that he's too weak for these times. I don't know how long he'll be able to survive.
You said he had a son. A pretty good reason to hang on, don't you think?
Yes, Colin. I haven't
¿Qué es un
seen
flyer?
that kid running
Un
around
flyer.
here for some time. You know if he's
Todo
all
bien
right?
acá.
I don't
Esa
know.
nueva serie.
I still haven't seen
Click
him.
and Point.
His father told me about him.
La verdad no me gusta mucho cuando me
Glad he's not anywhere near
cuentan
me.
toda la puta vida de una de todo de cabeza,
Frank
boludo.
doesn't have anything better to
La idea es
do
contar de a
than try to
poquito.
snoop in my shopping cart.
Well, I'll be going on my way. Good luck to you, pal.
Just be sure to
Joder,
stay away
qué
from
viejo
my things.
esquizofrénico, boludo. Ahí está bien. Carrito.
Hey, you! Don't even think of putting your paws on that shopping cart. Stay
Lo peor que
away
lo decía 45 veces y lo hacía
or I
este.
swear I'll rip your guts out with my bare hands.
Okay, calm down. I won't touch anything. A supermarket shopping cart full of plastic bags, ready to burst. This individual who looks like a bum never takes his eyes
Y no.
off it, and the swarm of insects fluttering around the merchandise don't either.
Bien, puedo ir chabolas.
But what's happening?
¿Qué carajo?
What is this? What the hell's going on here? Good God.
Estoy sangrando al pie, boludo.
Mind. A bunch of shacks, trying valiantly to stay standing in a sea of mud and trash. I can't imagine how it must be to live in one of them.
Ok, ¿qué tengo aparte de la tapa? No, la tapa, ¿no? Tapa de olla.
Can I ask you a few questions?
I'll answer anything you...
¿Puedes volver a contarme? No, ni en pedo. No.
Well,
Todo bien, pero...
with my foot in this condition, I wouldn't get very far. I think it would be better to go back inside the trailer and try to take care of this wound.
Ok.
It doesn't
Todo bien,
look
perro, aquí viendo al papito Kyubi juegos. ¿Quién es ese gordo? Soy Kyubi. Ah, re esquizofrénico. Bien, a ver. Cama deshecha.
The mattress still shows the I must have been lying on it much longer than I thought.
Necesito algo, boludo, como para curarme el pie, boludo. Pero habla, boludo, o sea.
It's no use. It won't open. I can hear people whispering on the other side. It's the door Rod went through after hearing those moans. The same one he made sure to bolt shut.
Que me digan me gusta el display. ¡Oh! ¡Qué rico! Horno, restos de cocina.
A pile of fry. Ugh, this place.
No tengo nada, boludo.
I'm not gonna.
No puedo abrir esto. O sea, está muy bueno.
I'm afraid. This is the bed. This springs. The bed frame under the turned into a.
Pero no puedo hacer nada, boludo. O sea, no... Algo de acá decía. Usar esto, no sé.
It's a bit dented, in fact.
Che, viejo, si te doy esto, la tapa.
I'd better hold on to it. I don't think anyone else would be interested. No, I
No
think
puedo irme.
the halves of now. The enormous overflow.
Chabolas. Hinchabolas, ¿no? Bien, con el equipo hace marpe. ¿No tiene frío? Sí tengo frío, pues te decía, Miguelito. Pero si quieres, es que dijiste que rico nomás. Obviamente, sírveme gordo. Pero no.
A pile of fry.
No sé qué. O sea,
There's nothing.
no hay nada más. Horno. La puerta. No hay con espacio. Ah, este creo que es del mismo creador, porque yo me acuerdo en un juego que he jugado que tocaba espacio y te decía todo lo que puedes interactuar. La gente. Puerta.
Time. There's no. Through the. It's this tank neglect. The ground. If you
Explanada.
want to.
Carrito, video encendido, mendigo, chabolas, ventana. Oh, están muriendo, boludo.
Rod seems upset and worried. What's going on in there?
A la señora.
That's Rod's wife. I heard her calling him from the other side of that door.
Tengo short, pero en cuanto me pongo
She looks worn out with
pants,
those dark
me da
circles
un
under her eyes.
montonazo de calor. Sí, que sí hace calor.
That must be little Colin, Rod's son. He looks unwell. Was that him I heard?
Oh, se ve el reflejo allá a la derecha, boludo.
Inside the trailer?
Caja de
From
galletas.
here, it looks like one of
Esa,
those metal boxes from
la que tiene arma, ¿no?
cookies. And judging from how
Creo que la del arma y la
worn
que
it
tiene la caja de
is,
galletas que tiene
it's
arma.
been reused over and over again. It's hard to see clearly through all the grime on this glass. On the other side is the room where Rod and his family have locked themselves away.
Y tampoco hay mucho que digamos. Cristal. Y esto para ahí. Pero igual sigo diciendo, no puedo irme en ningún pidón.
That's odd. Everything. This individual seems a little unhinged. Nothing strange about that.
Espagueti con carnitas. Paso. Oh.
Judging from his threats, I don't seem to have
Sí, la
made a very
violenta.
good impression on him.
Pebechito peque. Vamos, cuídate. Pero, a ver, primero. Dijo la caravana, pero no puedo hacer nada, boludo. Guardarropa. No me deja ir. La cama deshecha. No sé qué más quiere, boludo. Ya empezamos, ya me trabé, boludo. ¿Qué pasó? No puedo ir para abajo. ¿Pero qué quieres que haga?
There's no with the glass. A pile of the light from the oil, although the alternative wouldn't be much better.
Saliente, no. Cama saliente.
Press this. It's an unframed snap. It's an unframed to adult.
Lo único que puedo hacer, lo único que me queda es hablar con el mendigo, boludo.
Can you?
Dale, boludo, qué asco esa mierda. Puedes ver. Ok.
Well,
Que no me deja nada, boludo. Bueno, chichi, ojalá, boludo. Ojalá pudiese. Pero no sé qué hacer, boludo. O sea, no. No hay nada que puedo utilizar, no hay nada que puedo hacer.
nothing good. In another, but here.
A lo mejor hablando.
It's. I can hear the same. This there's with.
O sea, no puedo interactuar, no sé, no puedo hacer más nada, boludo.
I'm not. I must have been depressed. I must. The old like a. I don't see. Use. I don't. The better not fool. I don't. If I want to open up the closet,
Acá no puedo hacer
better
nada.
not. Better not. The squeak of the
Probemos acá.
I'm afraid. I don't see. If I want to use something with it,
Papá, ¿puedo hacer acá?
I don't see. I prefer. It doesn't look like it. I don't see any. I don't see any. I'd better hold on to it. Let's see. I could swear that the lid is just the right size for this drum. Perfect.
Mira qué.
Damn it! What's going on? This damn shithole is going to be the end of us.
¿Cómo sabía que tenía que hacer eso, boludo? ¡Qué mamada!
I'll have to do this quickly before this man stops coughing. Let's see
This
what we have
filthy
here.
shithole is going to be the death of us.
Bueno, todo río, ya.
Food, tattered clothes, and trash. Wait a minute. It seems like there's also a small billfold with a bunch of credit cards.
They mean to kill us all.
What the hell is this guy doing with so much plastic money?
¿En serio agarraste tarjeta de crédito?
These are the charred and misshapen remains of a bank card. I doubt it could be used in this condition, assuming there's anyone capable of finding a cash machine working.
¿Me estás hablando en serio? ¿Que en vez de sacarte algo para curarte el pie, sacaste esa mamada?
There's nothing else in that. So now that he smells like
Filthy shithole
this guy's
is
in no
going to
condition.
be the death of us.
I think it would be better.
Me estás jodiendo, no, hermano.
Impossible.
Ah, ya sé. Usar tarjeta de crédito como para abrir la puerta.
Let's see if I can do this. Good.
Perfecto.
The mechanism gave way on the first try, but the card is trashed. For my sake, I hope that guy outside never finds out about this.
Yo no veo una mierda. Funda de moda. Alcohol. Bueno, whisky. Alcohol. Y zapatos.
Not just yet. I'm grateful to Rod for his hospitality, but these old shoes don't look very clean. It won't take more than a few hours for the wound on my foot
Ah,
to
bueno.
turn really ugly.
Bueno, pensé que me dio.
The last thing I need now is a serious.
Primero me voy a curar y después me pongo las botas.
For now, it's just a pillowcase. I don't see any. White, folded, but this pillowcase is the nicest thing I've. I took it out of you. I took.
Pero vos, pelotudo, no puedo usar los dos.
Why change the sheets? I took it out of here. Why? The pillowcase. The pillowcase is quite large. It's not going to fit inside Rod's shoe.
Algo tan fácil, me está dando un down, boludo. O sea, ponerle alcohol y curarme.
The pillowcase is quite. I don't use this here. I don't see any. Okay, let's see how well this protruding bed spring can cut.
Ok,
I'll use a little of what's in the bottle to soak the bed.
gracias.
I don't think I.
¿Y cómo me la pongo yo?
The oil better enough. A handful of bandages. Here goes. I'll use the bandages on my foot. I hope the alcohol is enough to keep it from getting infected.
What the fuck, hermano? ¿Por qué era?
Doesn't lead to a delightful case of gangrene.
No tiene sentido.
What bastard put a lid on the drum? You tried to suffocate me, you bunch of assholes!
I think that guy out there just discovered the reason for a sudden coughing fit.
Some coward in this shithole wanted to suffocate me! Me! Who was it? Who was it? Come back here so I can give you back your lid, you son of a bitch!
Papá.
Did you hear that noise, Rod? What's going on out there?
I don't know. I'll go have a look. I think it's that poor drunk who's always hanging around the trailer. He's kicking up a fuss again. It's a good thing poor Colin can't hear his insults.
Don't ever say anything like that again, Rod.
I'm sorry, honey. I wasn't thinking.
Estoy mismo color.
What are you doing here? Get out of here! You've no business being in this room!
Rod, I'm sorry. But what's going on?
Get out of here, Michael! You didn't see anything, understood? Out! Out!
Ah, no puede haber gente enferma.
Excuse my outburst, Michael. I shouldn't have behaved that way. It's not like me. But this new world brings out the worst in all of us. It's just that I can't stand to see Colin suffer this way. So for your own good, please, stay away from this room.
Away? Why?
Para no se enferme.
It's no use trying to hide it. You're bound to find out sooner or later. Colin is very sick, and the authorities claim his illness is highly contagious.
Highly contagious? Is he one of the dissolved?
Michael! I won't let anyone use that word in my house! Yes, Colin caught that damn disease.
¿Y en qué consiste exactamente la enfermedad?
What exactly does the disease consist of?
I don't know, Michael. No one really does. The only news is what the army brings us. They say the disease is highly contagious, and it's our duty to turn over all victims to the cleanup brigades. But no one has ever come back after being carried off in one of those ambulances. No one. So we can't let them take Colin, do you understand?
Yes, of course I understand.
They say that all the victims are condemned, that there's no salvation for anyone, that at the end of their suffering and their trances lies certain death.
Apa.
I think that even the army is afraid of the victims. Really strange things happen around them, Michael. Things you wouldn't believe.
¿Qué cosas ocurren alrededor de los contagiados?
Things happen around people infected with the disease.
Strange things with no possible
¿Será
explanation. In their trances.
radiación, boludo?
Places, Michael. They bring back information. They know things.
Puede ser radiación,
They
boludo.
talk to people who are no longer with us. And we've been living like this for weeks.
Pues no tienen cura y lo matan
Happening around Colin
para que los demás
is
se
getting
contagien.
more and more confusing and hard to bear.
Talking to the dead? Jesus. This man's nerves are shot from the exhaustion and stress.
Pero ¿cómo ha podido contagiarse
How did
Colin?
Colin get infected?
We don't know. No one knows how the disease is spread. The only thing we know is that the disease appeared after the catastrophe and that it
Puede
spread
ser,
like wildfire.
So the Great Wave brought
Uy, mi momento ha llegado.
Yes.
¿Te imaginas?
Don't use that word again. Not in this house, anyway. It's so cruel and disrespectful. In effect, that's the only thing we know for sure about all this insanity. The Great Wave took everything from us and left us with this.
Epidemia, pandemia,
what's happening.
coronavirus. ¿Cómo?
If only there was something I could do.
Well, Michael, you can help us. I'm convinced that our finding you was no coincidence. You've got to help us.
Pero tú mismo has dicho que todos los enfermos están condenados. ¿Qué se puede hacer?
But you said yourself that all the victims are condemned. What can I do?
No, all is not lost. In the camp, there are rumors of a cure. It seems that in the city, on the other side of the fence, the victims have access to a drug. But we can't get it here. And my contacts out there, well, let's just say they can't do anything to help.
Así que existe un medicamento.
So there's a drug that can cure them.
Yes, but they say that producing it takes a long time and is very expensive. And so it's reserved for city dwellers who can afford to pay for it. Get us that drug, Michael. I beg of you, please. Colin's time is running out.
Implicarse es peligroso. Es peligroso, perdón. He visto el tiroteo de ahí fuera, además del posible
Getting
contagio.
involved looks dangerous. I saw that shooting out there. There's also the possibility of infection.
Infection? Are you afraid for your life, Michael? Without our help, you'd be dead right now. Dead. Don't forget that. What's more, I could help you in return. I could help you get back what you lost. Don't you see?
Give me back what I lost? But you hardly know me, Rod.
I know the essential part, Michael. I know that you're a
Formateado.
Blankhead? What the devil does that mean?
A blankhead is a person with no memories, who can't remember anything. It seems
Ya te leo,
that
capitán.
the wave had an enormous neurological impact on certain people, Michael. You're not the only one, or even the worst case. There are people who even forgot how to talk and how to walk after the explosion.
A la mierda.
Some ended up dying of starvation. They forgot what food looked like, how to chew it, even that eating was a necessity. You can consider yourself lucky. You still remember how to keep yourself alive. And that's the important thing. The natural recovery process is slow. It can take months,
¿Ves?
if at all. Listen to me, Michael. A man without memories is just a shadow. Or even worse, he's nobody. I still have some contacts out there. I was an important man in the municipal government. I could trace your name, your data in public records, your fingerprints. I could restore your whole life in the blink of an eye. But please, help us.
I'm grateful for your help, Rod, and for everything you people have done for me. But
Listen to me, Michael. We know that it's possible that our son is condemned to die. In fact, my wife and I have everything prepared for when he leaves us. Our child is the only thing that keeps us holding on in the new world. Nothing would have any meaning for us without him. So if there is even the slightest chance of saving him, we are prepared to do whatever it takes. Please, Michael, help us.
Ah, un chico, boludo, que gemía. Pensé que era la mujer,
For
boludo.
God's sake, listen to him. He's just a child.
Rod, come in here, quickly!
Bring us that cure, and we'll help you get your life back. Colin is our only hope in this new world. Help us save our future, and I'll give you back your past. I promise you. Goodbye, Michael.
no, Rod, wait. Bring a drug? Is he out of his mind? That man wants me to put his son's life in my hands? I can barely remember who
Bueno,
I
secuestraron
am.
a metido, ya sabemos.
And I probably wouldn't last more than a few hours out there. But Rod was right. A man without a past is nothing more than a shadow. He offered to help me get my life back, my memories. So if I want answers, I have
¿Te imaginas que sea mentira, boludo?
to get that
Eso de que sea algo importante. Según yo, al tener radiación no tienen cura por todo lo que les puede causar. Además, sí, deben tener cuidado con la gente que les rodea porque les puede contagiar. Se me hace que sí, se me hace que es radiación, no quiero decir nada, pero no.
Wait a minute. Before leaving, I should write down everything important I find out in this notebook. It might come in handy if, as Rod says, I'm one of the blankheads the great wave left in its wake.
Ok. Rod me ha prometido su ayuda para recuperar mi pasado a cambio de localizar ese medicamento para los disueltos. Ok.
Can I ask you a few questions?
I'll answer anything you want.
Well,
Ok. ¿Algo nuevo? No. La puerta, pero la puerta no puedo hacer nada, así que nos vamos para abajo a ver qué onda. Ok. Tienda de
a
campaña.
quick glance at these tents is enough to make you realize how forsaken these poor people are, confined against their will inside the camp.
Camino, vivienda de cemento. Pensé que era de cementerio, boludo. Alambeada.
It's the enormous fence around the perimeter of the camp, with surveillance from the towers and on the ground. This barbed wire
Y está, yo todo estudio, por eso.
intensifies the feeling of claustrophobia in here, making it even more suffocating.
Gente que no creo que me pueda acercar.
In the
Horizonte.
distance, you can see the skyline of the city. It doesn't seem that far away. From what people say, things work somewhat better there. Could that be true?
Alambeada y camino a la derecha. Vamos por la derecha primero. Yo soy diestro, vamos por la derecha. Tiraba esa. Enfrente no, porque no me sirve nada. ¿Y quién hizo? Chatarra y basura.
A thick wall of scrap metal, debris and rusty metal surrounds this
Un
place
camino
on
helado,
all
boludo.
four sides. It's a good 20 feet high. I can't believe it manages to stay up.
Bien. Más chatarra y basura.
Some machinery, steel, cement, even the skeleton of an old construction crane. This place is a veritable cemetery of the industrial age.
Generador. Ah, si tú no. Si no es tu personaje el trayecto que imaginás.
Keep your hands away from that thing, pal, if you want him to stay attached to you.
Y si yo
Just
soy
wanted to see it up close.
el
Noise
chivata,
or
el que digo las cosas.
This noisy electric generator seems very old and decrepit, but it works. An enormous rusty tank designed to collect rainwater. Everything indicates that the Great Wave wiped out the concept of running water in one fell swoop, at least on this side of the fence. Good hand?
Ni bola me da.
Not bad.
Ah.
But you know what they say. The important thing is not the hand. It's knowing how to play your cards right.
Opa.
If you've come to be with the girl, where's the money? If you haven't, quit bothering us.
Hello, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Excuse me? What did you call me?
You're Mr. Sleepyhead. I saw you sleeping in Colin's trailer. I'm so glad you're awake now.
O sea, ¿me estás diciendo que es una... la estamos usando de prostituta? Pensé que era la esposa de uno de estos dos, boludo. O un amigo. No dormía, he estado enfermo durante mucho tiempo dentro de esa... No, no digas eso, porque... Si yo dormir, ese no es mi nombre, me llamo Michael. Así que, ¿tú también conoces a Roy y Colin?
Mr. Sleepyhead? No, that's not my name. I'm Michael.
No, you're just trying to fool me. You're Mr. Sleepyhead. My name is Rose.
There's something odd about this girl's behavior.
No tenía retraso...
She's very young, but she talks like a little girl.
No tenía retraso mental, boludo. O sea, no es de forro, pero...
So, do you know Rod and Colin too?
Of course. I go over to their house a lot. Well, when they let me out of the van, that is. Rod and his wife have been very nice to me. Sometimes they let me play with Colin. We're very good friends. Are you a friend of Rod's and Colin's too, Mr. Sleepyhead?
Yes, I'm friends with them too.
Boludo. Esto es muy picante, boludo. Es muy bestia. Ah, entiendo por qué me puso este juego como para adultos. Es muy bestia esto, boludo. Que sea una... la usen como prostituta y que tenga, parecer, tenga retraso mental.
I wasn't asleep. I was sick for a long time in that trailer.
No, you weren't sick. You were
Como, what the fuck, boludo.
like a big brown bear, Sir Sleepyhead. Sometimes I used to watch you sleeping in Rob's
Apa.
house, and you would grunt in your sleep like a bear. A great big lazy bear, Mr. Sleepyhead. But I'm glad you're awake now. I like your voice. You sound like a knight in a fairy tale.
Sí.
You want me to tell you a secret, Mr. Sleepyhead?
Of course.
I have your old clothes. The ones you were wearing when Rod and his wife found you. I have them in the van. They were going to throw them away, but they gave them to me to wrap my baby in. He'll be cold now that winter's coming.
Your baby? You have a baby, Rose?
Yes, I have a baby, but he's not with me right now. He got lost. Have you seen him? Do you know where he is? I have another secret to tell you, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Back in the van, Rose, now. Move your ass. Get in there.
Another secret? Just a minute. Wait!
Get in that van, Rose.
It's a very important secret, Mr. Sleepyhead. Something about you. Something about before the Great Wave. But first I have to find my baby. Have you seen him?
Come on, Rose, you heard me. You don't want to get us mad now, do you?
I have to go. Goodbye, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Poor girl. She's obviously mentally ill. She's
O
just a little girl.
también no puede ser de eso, puede ser trastorno, ¿verdad?
And you, if you want to go in there with her, you gotta pay like everybody else.
Ok, demasiado bestia esto. Rose conoce un secreto mío anterior a la Granola. ¿Cómo puedo tener esa información? ¿Y en qué consiste?
Those are the guys guarding Rose. They won't let me speak to her if I don't pay the corresponding fee. I believe it was called pimping before the Great Wave.
Sí, proxenetismo, o proxeneta. Esa es prostitución.
Hey, you guys. You talking to us?
Dejadme entrar a la furgoneta. Solo quiero hablar con Rose unos
Come
minutos.
into the van. I just want to talk to Rose for a few minutes.
Of course, it's none of our business what you want to do with her. But if you go into the van, You gotta pay the price.
Got any money on you?
No, I don't have any on me.
Then come back when you do and quit bothering us. We have a very busy schedule, you know?
The girl said something about a secret involving me. Something from before the Great Wave. It seemed important. But what is it? Maybe it was a product of her madness. But I need to talk to her inside that van to get some answers. I'll come back with the money.
Now that sounds much better. I see that we're starting to speak the same language.
Esa pobre chica no está bien de la cabeza, actúa como una niña. ¿Cómo podéis tener tan pocos escrúpulos?
That poor girl's not right in the head. She acts like a little girl. How can you people be so unscrupulous?
Rose is an adult. She's earning a living. Like we're all trying to in this camp.
Mind your own business, pal.
You're abusing a poor, disturbed girl.
Tranquilo, papito.
Taking advantage of Rose? Us? You want to insult us?
We're giving her room and board. She's got nothing to complain about. But she's got to work. That's the only thing we ask of her in return. That's the way things work now.
Bring us the money, then you can get in the van with her. Hey, do us a favor and spare us all that sanctimonious crap from the old world, pal. Don't waste our time.
¿Es eso un generador eléctrico? He visto muy pocos por aquí.
Is that an electric generator? I've seen very few of these around here.
Yeah, in this hellhole, you can count them on the fingers of one hand.
Nowadays, you can't buy generators like this anywhere. And with the power grid all blown to hell, you can bet that one of these is worth more than your life.
We use it to light Rose's room. We like to protect our, investments. So don't get too close to it. These things are very fragile, and they have a bad habit of getting lost. Now, we wouldn't want that to happen, would we?
Oh, boludo, what the fuck, qué carajo de turbio, boludo. Vamos a ver qué pasa a la izquierda. Mamita querida. Por culpa me dio ganas de verlo de nuevo. Voy a mirarlo, gorro, mirar el avatar, está bueno, ¿no? Oye, viejito este. Ahí, tente solitario.
Hello.
Hello, son. Would you like to get a little closer to the fire?
Thanks, mister. This is a rather isolated part of the camp. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm waiting. That's all. Just waiting.
Está esperando. ¿Y qué es lo que espera exactamente?
You're waiting. And what is it you're waiting for exactly?
Nothing in particular. The usual. For the fire to go out. For sunrise. For it to get cold again. I'm waiting for something to change.
Pobrecito viejo.
Or for everything to stay as it is. I'm just waiting. You're too young to understand.
Espera su muerte. Empieza a hacer frío. ¿Dónde está su tienda o su caravana?
It's starting to get cold. Where's your tent? Or your trailer?
Yes, I had a tent once. They issued me one when I decided to enter the refugee camp after the Great Wave.
Se agarraron, ¿verdad?
The trailer was out of the question. They went to the families with the best contacts. You
Eso no es mentira,
know,
entonces.
even in purgatory, some people are more equal than others.
Dice que decidió entrar en el campo. ¿Significa que no le obligaron a venir aquí?
You say that you decided to enter the camp. Does that mean that people weren't forced to come here?
No, of course not. Why would they have to force us? The catastrophe hit the city hard. Those of us who had lost our homes were invited to come here. In principle, it was temporary, just until the authorities got the situation under control and started.
Así dijeron el COVID, boludo. Temporal.
We used to have food, water.
Mira cuánto se tardó,
Now
boludo.
it's more like a prison camp
Y aún
or a
sigue.
refugee center. What happened?
I don't really know. I guess something went wrong. The new housing they promised us never got built. And in the end, the army ceased control of the camp. The food ran out, and then the water supply. Nobody bothered to replace them. Seems like our lives didn't matter anymore.
I see.
In time, things in here started to get very ugly. There were riots, uprisings, and the army decided to close the gates of the camp without any notice. One day they decided that no one could enter or leave here. Well, actually, people still could. Enter, that is. Now, this is where anyone who gets in the way in the city ends up. Or anyone they don't know what to do with.
So, this has turned into something like a concentration camp.
That's right, son. That's exactly what it is. You know, it's funny. I remember when my father told us about the war in Europe, about all the persecution, the deportations, those overcrowded cattle cars. That all sounded to us like an old movie, an old horror movie. And look at us now. I guess some things never change. They just stop being visible for long enough.
Muy buena fe, boludo. Se disfrazan, boludo, con el tiempo. ¿Y dónde está ahora su pequeña tienda de campaña?
Where's your tent now?
It was stolen from me a while back. They fetch a good price on the black market now.
Stolen? But how could anyone...
You seem to be new in the camp, am I right? These things happen nowadays. It's best to take things as they come. The reality of the new world is very simple, son. The soldiers and the moles do whatever they like on this side of the fence. And the hunter and his men run the black market and all the dirty rackets. I suggest you memorize all this.
The hunter? I've exchanged a few words with him, but I hardly know him. Yes. The man who protected me during all the shooting. He seems like someone with good connections and some answers. Could he know anything about the drug for treating the dissolved?
Lo raro es que ese chabón desapareció así de repente. ¿Será mi
You
imaginación?
can find him in those barracks at the back. That's his, well, let's say it's his logistics office. Now, the hunter is very dangerous. Watch your step around him and his men. I happened to
Ah, no,
meet
los
his
imaginarios está
father
ahí.
when he was
Porque
young.
ustedes.
He was a violent, degenerate son of a bitch. A real asshole. And I'm afraid his son has followed in his footsteps.
Hablemos de otra cosa.
Let's talk about something else.
Dígame, ¿existe alguna forma de poder salir del campo?
So tell me, is there any way to get out of the camp?
Dijo, no, Pajín.
I'm sorry, son. The only way to get out of this camp is to know someone important who can pull strings for you. Or to become a camp mole. Those traitorous scumbags have gate passes.
Claro, por eso se vuelven
I'm
topos.
not surprised you want to get out of this shithole. You've no doubt got something to do or someone to find out there. Well, they say things are better in the city. That there's order and that things are starting to function again. But who knows? Well, at least they have Reverend Blake and the consolation of Suicide Park.
Padre Blake. Ya no sé nada que hablan de él. Suicide Park, ¿qué es eso?
Suicide Park?
Parque
What's
suicida.
that?
Just a song that drifts into the refugee camp from the other side of the fence now and then. And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I, when the sun departs from Suicide Park. I'm sure you still have some hopes, some dreams. I'm afraid you're just too young to understand it.
¿Quién es el padre Blake?
Who's Reverend Blake?
He's a preacher who sometimes comes from the city to bring us a little comfort. Now, some people make jokes about him, but many of us believe that he's a prophet. You should hear him speak sometime. His words etch themselves deeply into your soul. That's why he has so many followers inside and outside the camp.
¿Y hasta dónde llegó el impacto de la gran ola? ¿Cómo están las cosas más allá de la ciudad?
And what was the extent of the Great Wave's impact? How are things beyond the city?
Truth is, I couldn't tell you. In the first days, the chaos was so overwhelming that no one worried about anything beyond their own backyard. We victims were disoriented, cut off from the world. Then I came into the camp and news from far-off places doesn't reach this prison. I'm afraid you'd have to leave here to get the answer to that question.
Ok. Empieza a hacer frío. ¿Dónde está tu tienda? Ah, ya lo puse. Tengo que marcharme, que tengo buena espera, abuelo.
I should be going on my way. Have a pleasant wait, mister.
Más bidones.
Dented, dirty, and in pretty bad shape. In this corner of the camp, there are drums stored everywhere you look.
Hilera de bidones.
Okay, here goes. It's impossible to budge these drums at all. I don't know what they contain, but whatever it is, it weighs a ton. Someone placed a bunch of those rusty drums up against the wall. Ugh. They smell like liquor and industrial oil. Oh, Jesus. The cocktail of odors is nauseating.
Quedan cadáveres. Cable eléctrico.
It's a thick cable that runs along that building's roof, but I can't see it very well from here. It's too high.
Edificio del
Although it
ladrillo.
seems shoddily and hastily built, it's surprising to see a brick-and-mortar building in the midst of all the trailers and hovels in the refugee camp. No doubt this must belong to someone important, or with very good contacts in here. This
Lámpara.
bright light leaves no doubt about where the entrance to the building is. There are some insects fluttering around it that end up getting scorched by the heat and dropping dead. Dozens of
Bidones.
stored drums.
Ok. Acá está el cazador, ¿no? La música.
What are you having, pal?
Nope, I'm afraid I don't have any cash on me.
That's no problem here. We don't only accept cash, we also barter. We accept anything of value. That excludes checks, naturally.
Curioso lugar. ¿Eres el dueño de todo esto?
Interesting place. Are you the owner?
No, pal, don't get the wrong idea. I only work here. This belongs to the hunter, like every other business enterprise here inside the camp. He's the head honcho.
I see.
¿Qué clase de productos vendéis
What do
aquí?
you sell here?
Anything you can eat or drink. Anything that fits into a box or a bottle. For other types of goods, talk to the hunter directly. What do you need? Liquor, tobacco, food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that, but I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
He visto muchos barriles apilados a la entrada del edificio. Solo por curiosidad, ¿qué tiene adentro?
I saw a bunch of barrels stacked up at the entrance to the building. Just out of curiosity, what's in them?
Nothing. Just some things that need to be stored. Take my advice, pal.
Mmm.
Keep your nose out of the hunter's business if you want.
Altos cadáveres hay de la gente que no pagó, me parece.
Curiosity.
Yo no quiero decir nada, pero...
Well, this man seems to be the owner of the place. He's actually just another one of the hunter's lackeys.
Clientes.
Cheerful patrons of the bar. I suppose the gray substance one of them is sipping is liquor, but I can't tell what kind. I don't think he can either. That's the background music for the establishment. The speaker is cranking out a dreary, droning country song, and it's getting on my nerves. Stain from spilled drinks, rings from glasses and rust. The bartender looks out from the other side, seemingly bored and apathetic. Most of these bottles have been opened, and they look like they've been reused hundreds of times. They're filled with a grayish liquid with a rather unappetizing appearance. This old metal stool serves as a table. The truth is that its unfortunate appearance doesn't exactly invite you to sit on it.
Mike, my friend, it's nice to see you again.
Hi.
Guys, this is my friend Mike. He's new around here. We met at one of the cleanup brigade's latest parties. Isn't that right, dude? Pull up a seat and have a drink. We like to be hospitable to newcomers.
Something tells me I shouldn't accept that drink. That it's not a good idea. Not anymore. No thanks. I don't drink.
Okay, Mike. If you say. But I'm not accustomed to people turning down a drink. At least, not in my own establishment, in front of my men. So tell me, what brings you here?
Un amigo está en problemas. Necesito saber si existe un remedio para los disueltos y cómo
A
conseguirlo.
friend of mine is in a bad way.
Huele a gente muerta, ¿te
I don't know
imaginas?
if there's a drug that can help the dissolved, and how to get it.
A friend of yours, huh? Friendship is important, Mike. The camp is a very tough place, and you have to be loyal to your people. I like your gesture. Do I know this person?
No, I don't think so.
I see. Well, look, dude, I've heard something about that cure, but I don't know if it's true or just a camp legend. Sometimes desperation leads to wishful thinking. You know how it is. But if that drug exists, I can think of only one place you'd be able to find it.
Where?
Ciudad.
There's a small medical center on the outskirts of the city.
Bueno, ciudad.
It's
Está
more
bien.
like a pharmaceutical warehouse, but it's heavily guarded. I bet my bottom dollar that's where they keep anything that valuable. Maybe you should take a look at that building, if you can find a way out of this hellhole, that is. And I can't help you with that. You know I like you, dude. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stay away from those untouchables. From the dissolved. They won't bring you anything but trouble.
¿Qué más puede contarme sobre los
What
disueltos?
more can you tell me about the dissolved?
Only what the authorities say. And that's all I need to know. The disease is fatal. And they say you can catch it just by breathing next to one of those
Se me hace que sí, se me hace que
That's
sí.
why they have to get rid of them as soon as possible. Have you ever seen one of those poor suckers die, dude?
No, I haven't.
Well, you're lucky, Mike. I don't recommend it. It's a horrible spectacle. It goes something like this. After weeks of drifting in and out of their trances, something happens inside their bodies. Something fails all of a sudden. The pain makes them kick and scream like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Then their flesh begins to melt, to become liquid. Do you understand, Mike? That's why they gave it that name. They literally dissolve.
Ok.
But that's terrible. Those poor people.
On the contrary, dude, those bastards spread the plague. It's them or us. Understand? Anyway, you know how it works. The cleanup brigades tend to be more than generous with responsible citizens who help them with their mission of tracking down the dissolved.
¿Y no puedes conseguirme tú una dosis de ese medicamento?
Can't you get hold of some of that drug for me?
I don't get mixed up in things like that, dude. The army has made it very clear. Helping or hiding the dissolved will be severely punished. Not even collaborators are free from reprisals. You saw what happened to that mole. Those pigs are ruthless about this.
What are you talking about, those pigs?
That's camp slang. The soldiers, the cleanup brigades. The inhabitants of this shithole call anyone with a rifle and a uniform a pig. They can blow your head off right on the spot with impunity.
Dime, ¿por qué le llaman cazador?
Tell me, what do they call
Porque caza a la gente que no paga, ¿no?
That's a good question, Mike. You know my real name is Hank, but no one calls me that anymore. Now I'm the hunter, because I can find you what you want, when you want it. You know, it doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. The new world gave me a new name and a new life.
A new life?
Yeah, a new life. It's hard to explain, dude. But I think in a way, you and I are similar, Mike. That's why I like you. Let me explain it to you. It was the Great Wave. The Great Wave that changed and purified everything. The old world was a messy, complicated, and unjust place. After the Great Wave, everything became crystal clear. When all the old laws disappeared, only one rule remained. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's that simple. And that's the universal law that puts each of us in our rightful place. Do you follow me?
You gotta do what you gotta do. Sounds like a handy way to justify anything and everything, even the indefensible. Yes, Hank. I follow you perfectly.
I knew it. I knew you'd get it straight off, Mike. But don't call me Hank. I told you, that guy died in the Great Wave.
I should be going now.
Fine, Mike. You're welcome anytime. Remember, dude, here we can get you whatever you need. No questions asked.
¡Apa! No sé si confío o no, boludo. Bueno, mucha información en poco tiempo.
Another brick in these.
Pegamos acá. ¿Qué pasará acá? Demasiado, sí, sí, sí. Guardia de la puerta. Garita.
Damn it. What's going on? It's amazing. Everything's changing again. Everything.
Recuerdo que en mi mente, no en la vida real.
Everything is mutating. And I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything.
A small military sentry box with no door, so narrow that the soldier on duty can hardly turn around inside.
Guardia de la puerta.
Where do you think you're going, Rat? No one leaves here without a pass, unless it's with a bullet between the eyes.
Yes, and we can take care of that for you if you don't get away from that gate. Come on, stick your neck out. We could use a little entertainment tonight.
What's the matter, Rat? Cat got your tongue?
I think it's best if I get away from the gate. I'm afraid their threats are deadly serious.
La mierda.
Sorry, guys. I'm not looking for trouble.
Decís que solo puedo salir del campo con un pase. ¿Cómo? ¿Dónde puedo conseguir
You
uno?
said that I can only get out of the camp with a pass. Where can I get one?
Only soldiers and moles have passes for entering and leaving the camp. And you don't look like either one of those things. So get lost.
Well, sometimes we can make an exception, but only if the person who wants to leave is generous enough. And why exactly do you want to leave the refugee camp? What did you lose on the other side of the fence, Rat?
Tengo mis razones y creo que no son asunto bueno. Uy, si me meten un tiro acá con esto.
I
Respuesta.
have my reasons, and I don't think they're any of your business.
What's your tongue, you son of a bitch? If you want to hold on to it.
Don't push your luck. We could blow
¿Te
your
digo
head
yo?
off right here, Rat. Try showing a little more respect.
Busco ayuda para el hijo de un amigo. Eso es todo. Pero le estoy contando a todo el mundo, boludo.
That's all.
Alto topo.
Heartwarming. Really heartwarming. I got an idea. Why don't you bring your friend and his kid with you? We'd be happy to let all three of you leave.
Really?
Of course, Rat. We love target practice. I promise to give you guys a running start.
Yeah, we'll give you a few yards start. That would make it more fun.
I get the impression I'm talking to two armed psychopaths. Unbelievable. Who put these guys in charge of guarding the camp? I'm afraid it doesn't seem like such a good idea to me anymore. But thanks for the suggestion.
Bueno, he oído que en la ciudad las cosas están mejor. Eso es verdad.
So, I've heard things are better in the city. Is that true?
Yeah, it could be. But that's none of your business. What do you care? If you're gonna die in this dump anyway.
Get the idea of leaving right out of your head. There's no place for rats like you on the other side of the fence. Unless you want to take a walk in Suicide Park. Do you want to become a Dark Star, Rat?
Now quit bothering us and get lost.
Pero ¿por qué me llamas rata? ¿Quién está armando de aquí?
Why are you calling me Rat? Who's in charge here?
Well, did you hear that? It looks like we have a new kid on the block. Let me ask you something. If you people living in this camp crawl around in garbage, build your houses out of garbage, and eat garbage, what else are we gonna call you?
We're in charge here, the ones with the rifles. And that's the only rule you need to know. See all those dark stains on the wall next to the barbed wire?
Yes, I see them.
They're the guts and brains of rats like you who forgot the golden rule. We call it the Wall of Shame. We're in charge here. That's pretty easy to grasp, isn't it? But sometimes one of you forgets. And that gives us some more motivation to make you better students. So, how's your memory?
My memory? That's funny. In another context, that would be an amusing question, but there's nothing amusing about these animals. My memory works well enough to remember who's in charge here. Don't worry.
You catch on fast, right? That's a good thing. Now get out of here.
Bonita moto.
Nice motorcycle.
Me van a meter un tiro, boludo.
Isn't it? It's ours. So get anywhere near it, and you'll end up against that wall.
You don't have the authority to touch it, or point at it, or even look at it.
Dare to touch it with your grubby hands, and you're a dead man. I guarantee it. Got it?
Okay, understood. I won't bother you anymore.
Get lost.
El muro de tiro. Muro de vergüenza.
Shame. The soldiers at the gate called it. This wall looks like it's witnessed a good number of executions, to say nothing of murders.
Charco de sangre. Opa. Está cerrado ahí, sí.
Hey, you filthy rat! Get out of my house! Do you hear me? Out!
Forgive me.
We've got nothing left for you to steal. Go back to your sewer, you filthy rat! Scram!
No, you've got it all wrong. I haven't come to take anything. But wait a minute. I recognize you. Weren't you with the man they shot out there a while back?
Yes, my name is Misha, and that man is my husband.
¿Pero qué ha pasado? ¿Por qué han disparado a tu marido?
But what happened? Why did they shoot your husband?
It's all your fault. All because of you camp rats. One of you reported him for harboring a dissolved. And those army pigs opened fire without even caring who they were aiming at, or how hard my husband had worked for them.
So the lady the cleanup brigades took away from this house was a dissolved.
That was my mother. I'm never gonna see her again. Damn filthy rats. Are you satisfied? It was you people that brought death to this family.
¿Por qué está todo por los suelos? ¿Os han robado?
Why is everything all over the floor? Were you robbed?
They left us nothing. Those envious rats took everything. They'd been hanging around waiting for days. It seems like those bums have a sixth sense about where a dissolved is being hidden. When they saw my husband injured and lying on the ground, they forced their way in and looted our house.
Bums? Envious rats? Who are you talking about exactly?
Them! All of them! Everyone living here in this camp envies us. They envy who we are, what we have, our privileges, our army contacts.
So they envy you because your husband is a mole. Is that right?
Don't call him that, you worm! He collaborates with the forces of law and order.
Oh, okay.
And in this collaboration with law enforcement, wasn't turning in others of the dissolved one of your husband's duties?
Shut up! Shut up! You envy us too! You're just like the rest of the rats in this camp. And what are the three of us gonna do when my husband's gone? We'll lose everything! The house, the money, our privileges.
¿Me has dicho los tres? ¿Quién más hay en la familia?
You said the three of us. Is there someone else in the family?
We have 2 children, 2 small boys. And in this camp, envy eats away at everybody. Now we'll be outcasts. No one will help us when my husband is gone. Winter will come, our money will run out, and my children will starve. Those 2 brats wear me down with their antics. I have to chase after them all the time, but they're my children, and none of this is their fault.
Pero, ¿en qué estado se encuentra su esposa?
Who is your husband?
He's badly injured. One of the bullets went through his stomach. He's not gonna make it. He's really suffering. He's in excruciating pain. If we at least had some morphine to ease his pain.
¿Qué privilegios son esos que vas a
What
perder?
privileges are you going to lose?
As a collaborator, my husband always received special treatment from the army. More generous rations of food and water. A little money, clothes, a treat now and then.
Comí muy rico. Esa papita.
That's gonna end. We won't be able
¿También sabe quién comió rico? El tipo ese, el marido, boludo, del topo. Ese comió bien rico, boludo. Un tiro en el estómago. No, para.
Did she say a gate pass? Listen, Misha, I can help you.
And just how are you gonna help us, rat?
There's something important I urgently need to get from the other side of the fence. While I'm out there, I could also get some morphine for your husband. I've heard that things are better in the city. It shouldn't be too hard for me to find some, but first I need to get out of the camp.
Like I told you, my husband has a pass that gets him through the gate. I could lend it to you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you or any other filthy rat in this camp. Beat it! Get out of here!
If I want to get my identity back, I need that drug for the dissolved. And to get it, I have to leave the camp. I have to do whatever it takes to gain this woman's trust. No matter how unpleasant I find her screams and insults. Listen to me. I'm not just another camp rat. I'm your friend. I want to be your friend. You told me you were worried about winter coming. Let me help you. I'll bring you food. Food for your children. Then will you trust me?
I don't know. Bring me the food first. First you bring me food for my children, and then we'll talk about that pass.
I'll do it.
Rose conoce un secreto. No, Rod me ha prometido su ayuda para recuperar mi pasado, a cambio de localizar ese medicamento para el suelto. Cazador me habló de un pequeño centro médico a las afueras de la ciudad, pero antes debo salir del campo, y Misha me prestará el pase de su marido a cambio de algo de comida. Ok.
Some of the drawers have been torn out of this old dresser. Now they're torn apart and spread out all over the room. Nothing of interest. The floor of the room is littered with useless junk like this. But wait a minute. I think I can see something sticking out from under that piece of wood. Clothes, knickknacks, and broken furniture. This room is full of broken, worthless junk. There's no question. This place was looted recently, and rather violently, I might add. Someone knocked over that enormous bookcase with all its books, and considering what it must have weighed, several people must have been involved in all this.
Ah, puedo, me dejan tranquilamente. Ok. Vale pintado.
It's an old wooden pallet those kids painted a target on. The word pigs is scrawled in the center. One of the many sentry towers surrounding the camp. And inside each and every one of them, there's a sniper, armed to the teeth and itching to shoot something. Hi, kids.
Hello, sir.
What are you up to?
We're doing target practice. We're going to be real good shots. Someday, we'll get those pigs who shot Dad.
How awful. These children must have seen the cleanup brigade.
Que digas a una edad corta, triste y turbio, ¿no?
And how is the target practice going?
Bad at the moment. We need a real target, or we'll never be able to hit those soldiers.
Yeah, we need a better target. Hey, quit talking to that rat. He's not one of us. You know what Mom and Dad say about the people in the camp. Leave my brother alone. Get lost, rat.
Yeah, you're not one of us. Get lost, rat.
The view from here is incredible. Until you get a look from this side, it's impossible to get an idea of the true size of the refugee camp.
Brecha en
There
cielo.
must be that strange phenomenon in the sky I've heard people talking about in the camp.
Wow, qué loco.
The one that appeared just after the Great Wave. God is urging his angels to punish us through the wound. It says in the notebook I found in Rod's trailer.
Bien, y ahora volvemos.
A pool of blood mixed with mud marks the spot where that man, the mole, was shot. It gives me the chills. They may be able to kill with impunity, but it's still the scene of a crime.
Oh, what?
What part of the words "get lost" don't you understand, rat? You'd better have a good reason for getting that close to the gate, rat.
Sorry, sometimes I'm a little hard of hearing. I'm moving away from it.
Camino de tierra.
From here I can see how the road
Mira acá tirando, metí un tiro.
into three paths. One leads to a kind of depression in the ground, another leads to a graded water outlet, and the third disappears into the distance, beyond the last hill. Could that be the road leading to the city?
Creo que tengo que deshacerme las cosas. Para, porque acá había algo. Pero está lleno de guardia, no creo que me dejen hacer nada. No, no hay nada. Necesitamos comida. Tengo alcohol. A lo mejor el alcohol puede servir como intercambio por comida, boludo.
Hello again. What can I get for you?
¿Qué clase de productos vendéis
What do
aquí?
you sell here?
Anything you can eat or drink. For other types of goods, what do you need?
I could use some.
You're in luck.
Okay.
We have some of these emergency food rations the authorities distributed among the inhabitants of the camp in the first weeks after the Great Wave. You know, a bunch of them just happened to fall into our hands.
Sí.
What do you have to offer in exchange?
¿Voy a fiarme hasta que consiga algo de valor? No.
Could you give
No
me
creo.
credit until I get something to trade for it?
Sorry, this isn't a charity, pal.
Una botella de alcohol servirá, ¿sería?
Would a bottle of liquor do?
Let me see. It's a good brand of whiskey. but the bottle's been opened, and there's a lot missing. I'd take it, but I'd need something more.
I'm afraid I have nothing more that can interest you.
Too bad, pal. Come back with something more, and the food's yours. You know how it works. We accept everything. Cash, jewelry, liquor, tobacco.
Ok, ok. Che, este juego tiene novios. No tiene novios este juego, ok. Tengo que juntar algo más. La pregunta es qué. La pregunta es qué, bueno, vamos a hacer... No, ok. Vamos a ver que tengo que hablar con cada uno para ver qué puedo hacer. El alcohol sé que no lo podemos usar más. O sea, porque lo tenemos que dar ahí. ¿Queda algo más? El auto. ¿Qué va a dar con el auto? Con la mano, necesito ver algo más, escuchar algo más. Caliente. Guardarropa. Sí, sí, instinto. Trastos, hornos. Pero salí, boludo. Ahí está.
Can I ask you a few?
I'll answer anything you...
No.
Well,
Just...
there's no... A bot God forget.
No puedo hacer más nada acá. Esta re basura. Mafiosos. Mesa de póker.
These guys have improvised a card table for their poker game by putting a plank on top of 2 old tires. There's no doubt that necessity has sharpened the resourcefulness of the people who live in the camp.
Hey, you guys. Hello again, pal. Have you come back to spend some time with Rose, or do you just enjoy wasting our time?
Déjame entrar a la furgoneta, solo quiero... No, pero porque está en blanco, boludo.
Of course, it's none of our
Got any money?
No. The girls, it seems maybe I'll come back with the money.
Now that...
No puedo entrar con esto. La chatarra tampoco me deja hacer nada. Alambeada, horizonte, alambeada. Una etapa en una parte del auto, la parte delantera del auto. No, nada.
No.
Someone went to all the trouble of taking the hood off an old Corvette just to turn it into a...
Tengo latas de cerveza vacías. ¿Para qué? ¿Para proyectil de los nenes? Ahí está.
Thank you. Now we'll really be able to become the best shots in the camp.
So now you're saying this rat isn't a rat?
No, I'm not. My name is Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Decidme, ¿por qué queréis disparar a esos soldados?
Why do you want to throw rocks?
Magos, mátalos a todos, ¿te imaginas?
We have to get
Con latas.
revenge. We're big boys now, and that's what we gotta do. Those
Ya somos
pigs shot
mayores.
our dad.
Mayores.
We heard him screaming. He's hurt real bad.
Mom said we'll never see him again.
No.
Damn pigs! My brother and I are gonna get them. All of them.
But when they were Dad's friends, you used to say you wanted to be a soldier when you grew up.
Shut up. That was before. I wish I could reach those watchtowers with my rocks.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That's not a bad idea. Something tells me that a little commotion along the barbed wire fence would be a good
Para
idea.
distraerse. Ya es muy tarde para unos niños como vosotros. ¿Qué hacéis en la calle hasta estas
It's
horas?
pretty late for kids like you. What are you doing out in the street at this hour?
Hey, we're not kids. We have to practice our marksmanship. Our mom gets real mad when we do it inside the house. It's not like we have anywhere else to go in this dump.
Nowhere else to go? So you don't go to school?
No, pero mi personaje es pelotudo, ¿no?
There's no school. Not since the explosion. Our mom says we don't need it anyway. We're big boys now, and someday we'll be very important people in the camp. Just like our dad. That's why we don't hang out with the other kids around here. Our parents say they're rats. They'd be a bad influence on us.
Yes, we're going to be brave and strong, like our dad. Right, Michael?
Of course you will. I have to get going. Keep practicing your marksmanship, boys.
Oh, opa.
Oh no. Here comes that sensation again. It's like floating in a dense liquid while everything around me is transformed.
Good God. I think I'm starting to lose my mind.
No sé si...
It's an old... Now it's...
Hello, Mike.
I have to get...
Se me hace que... A ver, algo...
Hello again.
They shot him! And what are the three of us gonna do when my husband's gone? We'll lose
Entonces ya puedo hablar con todos hijos ahí fuera.
Three of you. I've already talked to your two boys out there.
Those two brats wear me down with their antics. I have to chase after them all the time.
They're just children.
What do you know, you rat? I have to run after them all the time. Those kids don't give me a minute's peace. It's exhausting.
I should be going. Give me that pass for getting out.
I don't... First...
Bien. Paquete de cigarrillo. ¡Opa!
Don't even think about touching anything in this house, rat. Haven't you done me and my family enough harm already?
Ay, tengo que
You're just a
hacer
lousy thief.
que la
Like all the
distraigan.
cockroaches around here. Get out of here.
Y me llevo el cigarrillo.
No, wait. You're confused. I just wanted to clean up this mess a little. I just want to help you, okay?
Oh, yeah? Keep your hands off our things, you filthy rat. Understand?
Of course. Understood. Whew.
Tengo que hacer que todos los pendejos se vuelvan histéricos. Y todo vuestra ayuda, chicos.
I need your help, boys.
How can we help you, Michael?
I have to get something from inside your house. It's something I need so that I can help your father. Understand?
Hola, bebé, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Malos días.
And I need
Malos
you to give
días.
me a hand with her. It's a mission.
Ya te pondré mejor, ya te da mejor.
I need you to get your mother out of
Ayuda un charado, porfis.
just long enough for me to go in and get what I need.
Gracias, papito.
You think you can do that?
Of course, we're big boys.
I'll owe you. I promise to give you a reward.
Okay, let's do it.
A mission.
Ok, anotar algo en el cosa. Los hijos del topo cumplieron con la misión que les encomendé. Creo que esos chicos se merecen una recompensa. Una vez... No. Entré a la caravana con Rose. No, para... Bien. Ahora puedo agarrar cigarrillos y puedo darle los cigarrillos y el alcohol. Para la comida.
Oh, my head. What the hell's going on? Oh, God. My head feels like it's gonna explode.
Michael, please, help
Me guasa la munición. ¿Cómo?
Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Bichor Oracle. Ahí está el Blake, boludo.
Enough. Please. Enough.
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it. Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Good God. What are these images? And that woman's voice. It's the same one that woke me up in the trailer.
Rose.
I'm trying to remember. Stop tormenting me.
I hope Rod helps me find some answers. If not, I'll go mad. Absolutely mad.
Completamente al que sea cargo de Sashi. Uff. Yo me voy para México, así nomás te digo. Vos fijate tus movimientos. Qué pena.
Greetings, pal. Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are, what do you need? Liquor?
I'm still interested.
Let me see. But the bottle's been opened, and there's a lot missing.
I have this pack of cigarettes.
Ahí está.
Fantastic. I think that's a fair price. I'll take both of them. Here you go, pal. The food package is all yours. Enjoy it in good health.
¡Fua! No me des más comida, boludo. Te cagué de hambre, ¿no? Eso Martín se me dijo eso. Parte comida.
The box says Government Rescue Campaign. Sales of these foodstuffs is prohibited.
Prohibida la venta.
I have no doubt whatsoever. The hunter and his men must have lost their scruples in the Great Wave. That is, if they had any to begin with.
Bien. La comida para qué. Ah, para los niños. Toma, señora, la comida.
Here, this is what I promised you.
That's all the food you brought? This will barely feed us for 2 days.
I'm sorry, it's very complicated getting more in the camp. I only wanted to show you that you can trust me, that I can help you.
That's what all you rats in this trash heap say? But in the end, only thing you're interested in is taking advantage of my husband and me.
I've held up my part of the bargain. Isn't that proof enough? Listen, let me have that pass to get out of the camp, and I promise I'll come back with the morphine you need to ease your husband's suffering.
Ah, okay.
Bien.
But you better hurry. Here.
What's this? A bracelet?
It's like an ID badge. Wear it and the soldiers will recognize you. It won't just get you out of the camp. It'll also help you avoid all kinds of problems with the army once you reach the city. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing by giving it to you. Just don't betray me, you rat. Bring me that morphine from my husband, and I promise you, I'll give you lots of money in return. Much more money than you could earn in a lifetime in this shithole.
No, that's not necessary. We never said anything about money.
I have to know you're coming back. I don't trust any of you. And I know that money is the only thing that'll make you keep your word. All you camp rats. Now get out of my sight and don't make me regret this. And don't come back without my husband's morphine. There'll be a fat wad of cash waiting for you.
Okay.
What? Ah, ok, el video. Milla me recompensará cuando consiga morfina para paliar la agonía de su esposo. Esas extrañas visiones y la misma voz femenina que me despertó. ¿Qué significará Pitchwood Oracle?
Go through that gate, and I'll blow your head off with one shot, rat.
Do you need to get a closer look at what I have on my wrist?
Wait a minute. Look, he's got on one of those ID bracelets the camp moles wear. Those cockroaches are very useful to us in here. Lower your gun and let him leave.
You heard him. Get out of here, rat.
Bien. Montón de desechos.
Impossible. It's beyond my reach. The bars are keeping me from getting there.
¿Cómo se lo? Ah, cauce seco. Empinoso. Bien, a ver. Árbol quemado.
It's the charred remains of a tree trunk, fighting to keep from being devoured by the enormous hole in the ground. For the moment, it's holding its own. It seems firmly rooted in the soil.
Piedras la pared de tierra.
This hole in the ground is steep walls of mud and earth. The distance to the bottom is several yards. How the hell was this cesspit formed?
Piedras laveadas.
I can't reach it from here. Maybe I should find a way to get to the bottom of this enormous hole first.
No,
I suppose the rain has been flooding the pit little by little. This water is so dark you can't even see the bottom.
Bien. Calculo que cuando vaya a la ciudad empezará el capítulo 2, ¿no?
So, I enter the city.
It welcomes me with its most merciless and bitter grimace. What I see before my eyes is not what I expected. Doomsday made it here, too, even if no one in the refugee camp knows it yet. Damn it. The city looks as bruised and battered by the catastrophe as the rest of us.
La ciudad de fin del mundo. Acto. ¿Viste? Te dije, boludo. Te dije. No, yo no con este juego porque no quiero, boludo. Te dije, boludo. Intento robar. Lo he bloqueado. En la fuga de Logan. Felicidades. Hoy es tu cumpleaños. Y cumples 30. Pero no me salen los logos, boludo. Ah, mira el logo. Acá está. Son 24. Ok.
Help me, please. Help me. Don't let them find me in the street after curfew. They'll take me to the refugee camp. Help me, please. But don't make any noise. There's a patrol just round the corner.
Pero, ¿qué es lo que necesita, qué es lo que necesita que haga?
But what is it you need me to do?
It's almost curfew. I need a place to sleep. I need a place to hide, or they'll send me to the refugee camp. Don't you understand?
¿Qué es eso del toque que queda?
All of this about a curfew.
At curfew, the soldiers want the streets cleared. And the way they see it, if you're out on the street after curfew, it means that you've got nowhere to go. You don't have a home. You don't belong here. And that makes you a rat. And so they take you to the refugee camp.
Okay.
I can't go to the camp. Understand? I can't go there.
Necesita un techo y no tiene usted ningún lugar donde
You need
ir.
a roof over your head, and you don't have anywhere to go.
I used to, but it doesn't exist anymore. I owned an apartment a few blocks from here. The block was badly damaged by the Great Wave, but it was still standing.
And what happened to your home?
This morning we had to evacuate the area in a hurry. We ran out in the streets with whatever we had on. Apparently, the foundation was starting to crumble. And a few hours later,
Eso me voy a aplicar todo adentro, pero bueno, aquí de...
pile of smoking rubble with 40 years of memories buried beneath it. But I can't let them take me to the camp. I need to get into another house before the curfew. Please, help me.
Está bien, deme esa cizalla. Veré si puedo, qué puedo hacer.
Okay, give me those bolt cutters. I'll see what I can do.
This house was empty, but the army has sealed it off. If I can just get this padlock off before curfew, I'll be safe. I need to get in here. But please, don't make too much noise. If the soldiers find us, they won't hesitate to kill us.
No tiene pila, ¿verdad?
Impossible. I'm sorry. I can't do anything with this.
I need to get in there. I need to get in.
Estoy buscando un lugar, algo parecido a un almacén de medicina. ¿Sabe usted
I'm
algo?
looking for a place.
Te chupa todo
Something
huevo.
like a pharmaceutical warehouse. Would you know anything about that?
I don't really know. There's a small medical center just outside the city limits. I suppose you mean that, right? They built it in a hurry, just knocked it together after the Great Wave. No one really knows what it's for, but there are vehicles going in and out of the place all the time. Whatever they're doing in there, they're keeping it very secret. Not even my daughter would tell me what goes on inside.
Did you say your daughter?
Yes, my daughter, my little Uma. She works there as a nurse. I'm afraid she left me. I suppose she got tired of living with a frail, sick old man like me. Because one day she simply left the house, and I haven't seen her since. It's been months now. I think she was right to leave me. These times are hard enough. You don't want to
Sí,
burden
todo.
yourself with
No te le va a ver.
me.
I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Help me, please.
It's the
Zombies.
silhouette of the soldiers guarding the street from around the corner. It seems like those uniformed psychopaths' rifles are projected onto each and every corner of the city.
Hello, friend. You look lost. Come over by the fire.
It's dying down, but maybe it'll last until curfew.
As long as those uniformed psychopaths don't decide to end our little get-together first, of course.
Hey, look! One of those magic bracelets from the camp. They say that place is a real hellhole. A kind of living death. So, you've come back from the dead. Do they call you Lazarus?
Well, you could put it that way.
Habéis hablado, bueno, dice, estaba durmiendo a la siesta y me picó una garraputa. Y ya se fue el médico, tengo que tomar antibióticos. No sé cómo llegó a la cama porque los Sashi le pusieron la pipeta hace 15 días, por ende no tiene nada de esas cosas. Me contaba el médico que el lunes atendió a un paciente que mientras dormía le picaron más de 50 garraputas, esa mierda. Pero lo internaron porque tenía 42 de fiebre y le sacaron bichos de eso. Uf, las garrapatas son un caos. Puede que sea que esa garrapata estaba en la perrita y cuando la pusieron la ampolleta se le bajó. Es mejor, la verdad, eso es verdad. ¿Habéis hablado del toque de queda? ¿A qué hora se produce exactamente?
Saying something about a curfew. What time does it start exactly?
Well, it depends on the mood of the soldiers in this zone. But you know it's time to go home when they start taking their guns out of their holsters.
Today they're extremely jumpy. I don't think it'll be long before they start insulting people and hitting them with their rifle butts.
You guys are awfully hard on them. It's just their crude way of showing us affection.
Oh, shut up. In any case, you don't have to worry. That bracelet means you don't have to hide from them. You know that's one of the privileges that comes with it.
And you? Do you people have to hide?
We try to stay out of their way. The first rule is be home before curfew. Anyone who isn't gets dragged off to refugee camp. That's one of the strictest laws the Great Wave imposed upon this city.
¿Sabes cómo están las cosas en otros lugares? ¿Llegan hasta aquí la noticia de afuera?
And do you know how things are elsewhere? Do you get news from outside?
I'm afraid not. With no communications or transportation, and with the army on every corner, we are totally cut off.
Who cares anyway? When you don't know from one day to the next if you're gonna be alive, there's no time to worry about what happens 100, 1,000, or 100,000 miles away.
I understand.
¿Por qué tenés miedo a los soldados? Había oído que por aquí las cosas funcionaban mejor. No tanto.
I'd heard that things function better here.
I don't know where you heard that, friend, but whoever told you that was lying. Here, things are very ugly and getting uglier every day. Everything's in short supply, water...
Argentina, arre.
We have a surplus of just two things. Misery and violence. Life is cheap.
¿Escuchó un gatito?
And getting cheaper all the time. Especially since the army took over.
The army. I see. And what happened to the other authorities? The politicians? The laws?
Those are distant memories from the old world, my dear. Get them out of your head, because all that collapsed like a house of cards. Since the Great Wave, no one's got any plan, strategy. We're all adrift.
He's right. The most reliable thing we have left is what you see around the corner. Armed teenagers in uniform on the streets, on the rooftops, just as scared as we are, or more, and shooting anything that moves.
I think our common destiny is to finally die of starvation, of disease, or boredom. I don't know which of the three options I find the most cruel. Who knows? Maybe the most sensible thing is to organize a group excursion and break into Suicide Park.
Suicide Park? Don't call it that. It's not funny. That name's as stupid as that hospital they built in such a hurry next to it. It's crazy. The entire city is starving and sick, and the soldiers keep those medical facilities locked up like Fort Knox.
¿Pero qué función tienen unas instalaciones médicas que nadie puede utilizar?
But what good is it having medical facilities if no one can use them? I don't understand.
No one does, friend, but that's the way it is. I don't know why anyone would want to go into that building, but I can assure you that they're not going to get treated for anything in there, not even for a miserable cold.
Besides, it's a real fortress. The person will be more likely to come out sick from an overdose of gunpowder and lead. You know how it is, dear. There's no cure for love or death. Hey, I like that last phrase. It would make a good opening line for a story.
Oh, will you shut up for once, Ramon?
Ramón. Eso es re latino, ¿no?
And he still thinks that all that waste paper might someday be useful after the Great Wave.
And in fact, it is. A good deal of that scrap paper is fueling this bonfire right now, dear. So I can consider my literary career to have been worthwhile.
Has dicho, bueno, acá con nosotros cuando bañamos a Ari le pusimos su ampolleta y a ella le bajaron las chinches, son similares a las garraputas. Pero más chiquitas y esas nomás salen de la noche a joder y pueden esconder en la cama, qué feo. Son parecidas pero esas pican más caro. Ha dicho Suicide Park. Alguien me habló de ese lugar en el campo.
Suicide Park?
Suicide.
Someone in the camp told me about that place.
And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I.
When the sun departs from Suicide Park. Yes, I recognize the song. But what the hell is it?
Yo ya me había olvidado de la canción.
Place with that name?
Yes, it exists.
Okay.
After the Great Wave, and when things were starting to get really ugly here, the weakest among us eased their suffering with a bullet, by overdosing, or by jumping from high places. You know how it is. All those dark stars had a hard time finding a reason to go on living.
There was a terrible wave of suicides.
Por eso
and
sí.
there still is.
The problem is at some point a problem arose. How should I put it? A serious logistical problem. Access to drugs and firearms became practically impossible. So the easiest thing was to grab a rope or a belt and go to Suicide Park after dark.
There was a time when it was hard to find a free branch anywhere in the park.
The suicides in the area multiplied at such a rate that the army closed down the park. They said for public health reasons.
For months, the only thing blooming in that park were the corpses of the hanged. The place became more like a theme park. Lots of fun for everyone.
I told you not to make jokes about that. Don't you have any respect for anything?
Of course not. That was one of the many things I lost in the Great Wave. And one of the things I missed the least, believe me.
Thanks for the chat.
Thanks for the company, friend.
Bueno, así que nada, gente, espero que les haya gustado este video. Denle like, suscríbanse, comenten, síganme en todas las redes sociales que están debajo en la descripción. Compartan el video, así que somos más. No se olviden darle click en la campanita, se notifica cada vez un video. Si no les llegas a notificar, subo video todos los días a las 9 p.m. hora argentina y hago directos lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 6 p.m. hora argentina en Twitch. En la esquina superior derecha del video allá está tarjeta con el capítulo siguiente de esta serie. Quiero agradecer a PC Games por ser miembro de nivel AMBU. Uno de los beneficios de ese nivel es que te saludo al final de cada video. Si quieres ser miembro, al lado del botón suscribirse, está el botón unirse con todos los niveles y todos sus beneficios. También en la descripción está la lista de reproducción con todos los capítulos de la serie. Quiero agradecer, perdón, ya lo dije. También otra forma de apoyar el canal es con el botón gracias. Es un comentario con donación y el botón tiene forma de corazón. Bueno, mandas uno, yo le doy me gusta, le doy corazón, lo responde, lo fija en los comentarios, lo pone en el siguiente capítulo de esta serie. Y le dejo el juego en la descripción por si quieren comprar que de Steam. Así que nada, gente, un saludo, los quiero un montón, cuídense y bye, chao.